Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Chandrika and this is Rika Life. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be working on my WIP, my work in progress. And I invite you to also pull out a WIP and work on your WIP with me. I'm going to share with you what I'm making today. So I am working on this top. You may have seen it in a previous video, you may have not, but that is what I'm going to be working on today. So I'm just continuing in the round, going around and around here, and I'm just working on the length. So the top does fit me. I'm just working on the length. And as I mentioned before, I likely will just keep it as a top and not as something longer like a dress. I would have loved to make it, what do you call it, like a tunic, I guess, like a longer top. So I'm gonna see if that's possible. I think I do have enough yarn. It's just a matter of the fit, because I know it's fitting me on top. I'm not sure how it's gonna fit me around my hips and stuff. So when I get there, I guess I'll figure it out. So this is what I'm gonna be working on today. And yeah, we'll just have a yarn chat while I'm working on this. So it's right here with me. Okay, so I have been buying some yarn again. I think my yarn ban is over. I think I didn't buy anything in the month of January and February. And then in March, I think I made 1 or 2 purchases, and now in April I've already made 1 or 2 purchases. So the yarn ban is definitely over. I guess I kind of stopped for a bit because I was working on my WIPs. As I had mentioned before, I'm trying to get down from 16 WIPs to, you know, a nice number, maybe like 5 or something. So I haven't looked at my list again. It's been a few days, but I think I'm down to 8 or 9 WIPs. But that's why I'm working on this, because this was a long-term WIP. I mean, this was a project that I started like two plus years ago. So, and then I had to stop because the tutorial I was watching, that person took their channel off of YouTube. So only recently, when I started making the hexagon cardigans, was when I came across another pattern for a top like this. And I realized that, oh, this lady's following a very similar pattern as to what I was doing before. And hey, I would be able to follow this and continue and finish this top. So I actually haven't even touched this in the few days previous to today's video, but I am really wanting to make some progress on it, and I think I could probably finish this top in, I want to say, less than 5 hours. So yeah, I'm going to spend some time on this. This is, of course, a project that I keep in this room only. This is where I make my videos, and this is where I keep this project. It's sitting on my table. The reason why I haven't taken it over to my couch or to any other area of the house is because I'm using 2 strands together, and my cakes are very nicely sitting on my laptop. So I figured I will just leave them there. And this yarn is very like stringy and not plied together, so I didn't want to get any tangles. I didn't want to, you know, mess it up in any way. So I've been very careful and working on it like in a very gentle manner so that I don't snag the yarn and I don't, you know, create any problems for myself. Because it's not plied and I'm using 2 strands together, I think frogging this would be a nightmare. So I'm not going to frog it. I'm just going to continue. At times it does get a little bit caught when I'm stitching, but so far, for the most part, it's been okay. The this top that I'm making, the yarn is Red Heart. It's a wrap rainbow in the color Fiesta. So this is what the label looks like. Red Heart, it's a wrap rainbow. This is a 55% acrylic and 45% cotton yarn. It's 623 yards, but I'm using 2 held together, so that's 623 for the first 2 balls, and then I have 2 more that are sitting right here. I'm going to work these from the outside in. So in total I'll have about, what is that, 1,246 yards, which I think is plenty. I bought this yarn on sale from Michael's in like 2020 or 2021. It was on sale for $5. And I don't think I realized at that time that like how thin it was, and the fact that it wasn't like plied together. I don't think I even realized that, but I was just smitten by the colors. So I bought, I think, 6 of this color, and then I bought 4 in another color called Foggy, which is like almost like an antique looking yarn. So that is like a kind of cream off-white. Then there's some gray and some very, very light beige / tan color. I had started a project with that, holding all 4 of them together. It wasn't working out. So I'm going to frog that. And I think I had a plan of what I was going to make with that. Now I can't even remember. But yeah, I think I'm just going to either hold 2 together and try to make another top like this. I think that could be really pretty. Of course, it's not easy to wear clothes that are white color. So that's the only other consideration. But other than that, I would really love to make another top like this now that I've found a good tutorial and it's not going anywhere. So I have it saved in my YouTube account. I think I've just like either put it in my watch later playlist, or I've actually downloaded it to my account. This is something that I really want to work on. I want to work on being able to eventually one day design my own tops, my own, you know, wearables. When I say wearables, I'm mostly referring to cardigans and tops and sweaters and things like that. Of course, I've made plenty of beanies and shawls and scarves. I have not made socks. I'm sure you can crochet socks, but I have not made socks. Maybe you can't crochet socks. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. I have no idea if you can crochet socks. I think I tried once to crochet socks with like the Bernat blanket yarn. It didn't work out that good. So I think I just like scrapped that or like threw it out. So anyways, I'm just getting more interested in these wearables. If you've been watching my channel from the beginning, which was almost a year ago, it'll be a year on April 18th or 19th. I keep forgetting which day it's in my calendar. But if you've been watching my channel from the beginning or even from the last couple months, you might know that I love making mandalas. And I know I haven't shared one on here in a little bit. That's only because I've been working on my WIPs, and I think I just have one WIP, which is in mandala, and I haven't worked on it in over a month. So I want to share that with you, but I'd like to share that once I've made some more progress. And yeah, I still love mandalas. And if you're interested in my mandalas, go back and watch some of my previous videos. I've shared so many that I've made. And there's also my own pattern, my own dreamy mandala that I designed. There's a full video tutorial for that on YouTube. You can see that in my tutorials playlist. There's also a full written pattern for that on Ravelry. So just look in my description box under each video. You'll see a link to the tutorial playlist. You'll also see a link to my Ravelry store. So you'll be able to get the pattern, the full written pattern on there. if you prefer the written pattern. I know it's very, everyone's different. So some people are very visual and they want to see a video tutorial. Some people like to see a pattern written down. They really want to see what exactly is happening beforehand. You know, some people, like, even for me, sometimes when I'm following a written pattern, I like to just go through and kind of flip through and see how is it being made. I'd say majority of the written patterns I follow do have some sort of photo tutorial with it, which I find really helpful. So that's actually how I learned to crochet. I learned to crochet. The first thing I bought was one of those kits from like Michael's or Joann's. I think it must have been Michael's back then. I don't know if there was a Joann's near my house. And what I did is, it came with some hooks and I bought some yarn and I made a couple of things. I still have pictures of those first few things I made in November of 2014. And then I just went from there. And, you know, I went online, I looked for patterns. I think I found Ravelry pretty early on. I also found the Sophie's Universe pattern. I found the Crochet Crowd. I found, who else? There's just a few designers. Helen Shrimpton of Helen's Hookaholics. I found her. Sorry, her thing is called Crystals and Crochet. But yeah, I just came across these people, and her really famous pattern is called Mandala Madness. And I came across these designers, also Hooked on Sunshine, Vanessa Smith. Oh my God, her patterns are just beautiful. So I came across these people and I realized that they take so much pride in their work. They honestly, they don't just publish a crochet pattern. Like, they are providing you with, sometimes there were full video tutorials. For some of them, I think like Sophie's Universe has a full video tutorial. You can sit down and watch it step by step and work on your project at the same time. Then some of these other designers had like photo tutorials. So they had the patterns written out and they had photos beneath. And it just made it such a wonderful learning experience. That's honestly how I learned to crochet, was with the help of these designers. So even though I was making things that you might consider to be, you know, intermediate, I would say that I was definitely a beginner. I still consider myself a beginner in many aspects because, you know, there's so much to learn. There's just so much. Like, I'm making these cardigans and tops now, and it's like a whole new world for me because, you know, I can sit and follow someone's instructions, but then to make something that's going to actually fit you is a totally different ballgame, because then you have all these other considerations about the fit versus making something beautiful like a mandala where it's more decorative. It's like a home decor item and you don't have to think about anything about fit unless, you know, you're trying to fit it on a certain hoop or, you know, some way you're going to display it in your home. So for me, honestly, I've done one of two things. So I have put up, like, even right in front of me, I have a yellow mandala. I have one behind me right there. And these two are hanging up with thumbtacks. I just took thumbtacks, kind of like a push pin. We call these ones thumbtacks. And I just pushed them in the wall. I made holes. What can I do? The other thing I've done with a really big project that I made, I think it was actually called something Carousel, and that was by, oh my gosh, her name is eluding me now. If I can remember, I'll put it down here when I look it up. But yeah, I made that. It was huge, and I actually put it up on my wall. So for that one, if I can find a picture also, I'm going to pop up a picture of what I made so you can see it. I used nails. I just used nails. I got the smallest nails that were in my, you know, tool set, and we hammered it in because I didn't use thumbtacks for that because of the size of the project and because I knew that it was going to be heavy. So that's why I use nails. It hung in my home for a few years until we moved. And at that point, we just had, you know, someone come and kind of do touch-ups and like fill in those holes. And it was fine. Now in this home where I am, I haven't used any nails for my crocheting yet. I've just been using thumbtacks. That still makes a hole, but I guess it's a little bit smaller. So I have, right now in my home, I have one in front of me, one behind me, and one on another wall that's up. And I think that's it for the ones that are displayed. Then I have a huge Phoenix by Hooked on Sunshine. That's her pattern. I have a very large one that I made that is hanging on the back of one of my couches. That was like, oh my gosh, a labor of love. And it's one of my all-time favorite crochet pieces I've made, and that's why I've kept it. I haven't given it away because honestly, I give away, I want to say like 80 to 90% of what I make, probably even more. I've only kept a select few pieces for myself. Like there were things in the beginning that I made, like, you know, I made a small purse or a tiara or a small square or maybe a cushion. There were smaller things that I made. And I do have some of those pieces, like I made an emoji pillow. I made these pillows sitting back here, these mandala pillows. So I have a few things like that with me. And then I have some decorative pillows on my couch. They were just pillows I got on clearance from Walmart for like $2 or $3. And I had them displayed in my home. And then one day I just grew sick of them. So I was like, let me make a crochet cover. So they are covered now. That's, I think there's 2 of them, or yeah. So that's on my living room couch, and I enjoy that because it's usable, you know. So I really like having these things around my home. I honestly say that I haven't really decorated my home. I've just like, my crochets everywhere. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's pretty much what happens. And I haven't made anything really for my kids' rooms. They're not really decorated yet, but I'm sure once they start spending more time in their rooms, I can make them something. I actually saw, I can't remember where I saw this, but I saw somebody, it might have been in one of the newsletters I get daily from the yarn companies. I saw like bubble letters made out of crochet, and I thought they were so nice. So, and like they looked sturdy too. It wasn't like they looked like flimsy or anything. They actually looked really sturdy. So I thought that would be so cool, just even to do my kids' initials or just the first initial of their first name. I also really want to do something for this room. So I know it's kind of blank behind me. I do have my bookcase here, and I call that my peace table up there. I have some nice books with nice sayings and things. But this side is kind of yarn, and then, you know, this blank wall. So I actually want to make something to put on this blank wall right here. I shared earlier that I had my daughter make some kind of like signs that said Rika Life on them. But now, I don't know, I want to make something or get something made to put up there. It would be really nice if I could just crochet it because, you know, that's the art form that I'm sharing on this channel. So I realized I might have mentioned this before, but it's been a while. So the name of my channel is Rika Life, and Rika comes from my name. My name is Chandrika, and those are the last 4 letters of my name, Rika. And when I first started crafting, I think in 2011 or 2012, that was my business name that I chose, was Rika Life. And I chose Rika Life because it encompasses many different art forms. I started off with paper quilling, I used to do embroidery, cross stitch. I learned to do fruit carving, though I haven't done it in many months now, but I still have my tools. So fruit carving is such a wonderful, such a beautiful art. But of course it doesn't last long. So also I haven't been able to do it because I've had small kids now and I don't want those sharp things out around them. So that was the fruit carving. Then what else? I think I did drawing, and then I got into crocheting in, 2014, and I haven't looked back. I did try knitting in the middle. I took a stab at that last year as well. I've tried it a couple of times over the years, and I've always I've just given up because I don't think I understand the logic behind how it's being constructed. And so I don't know. I just feel knitting to me feels very relaxing, and knitting, I love the way the colors work up and things like that. But for me, crocheting feels more intuitive. Crocheting feels more natural to me, and I understand what I'm making. I understand the stitches. I get it. It clicked for me. So that's why I crochet instead of knit. I did try knitting. I think I wanted to make, what was it, a scarf? Or I started making something last year with chunky yarn that I bought from Hobby Lobby. And I even bought circular knitting needles. And then I think I just messed it up. So I was supposed to have an end, but then the way I was making it, it was all like getting joined together. And so then I just left it. So it's sitting in a project bag in the naughty corner. And I just left it. I feel like for knitting, I have tried going on YouTube and I've tried looking at tutorials and things, but I feel like with knitting, I might need someone to sit with me and watch me watch me knit and explain to me what I'm doing and explain the different stitches to me. Like, I get the knit stitch, I get the purl stitch, but I don't understand, how to increase, how to decrease, how to drop a stitch, how do people make these crazy intricate designs? Like, I don't understand all that. So I feel like an in-person knitting tutorial would really help me. I can't say that's the same for everyone, but I feel like if I truly wanted to try knitting again, I should really sit with an expert and have them teach me and walk me through it. And I think that would get me going. For now, I love crocheting. I have so many different types of yarns, mostly acrylic yarns. I have some cotton. This is a cotton blend that I'm working on right now, but I mostly love working with acrylics and just the store brands. I think I have been gifted some hanks of yarn, and then I just literally wound them by hand. I don't have a yarn winder. I don't really feel the need for it because I usually am buying skeins or cakes of yarn, and I just work directly off of the skein or off of the cake. So that has been working for me so far, and I'm going to continue that. I feel like this is more feasible for me right now, is to buy these, yarns when they're on sale. I haven't even gone to a yarn shop yet. There are a couple near me and I really want to go. I don't know. I feel like it's all yarn for knitting and I just feel like intimidated to go. So I haven't gone yet. Like, I think there's one less than 20 minutes away from my house, but I'm just chickening out because I don't know what it's going to feel like. And I don't know that I just feel weird to go to the store and then not to buy anything, especially because of the prices. Like, I don't think I can spend $20-$30 on one hank of yarn or one skein of yarn, unless, I don't know, maybe I'd see some color or some colorway that just really inspires me, and you know, I'd go for it. Also, I've kind of stayed away from using wool and other animal fibers. So yeah, that's just a personal preference. I've seen the woolen yarns in store, and I've, you know, in the big box stores, and I have touched them and I haven't really enjoyed them. Also, I live in Texas and it gets really hot here, so I don't think there's a need for woolen things here. Of course, it does get a little cold in the winter, but you know, nothing that you can't manage with an acrylic scarf or hat or anything. I've always gotten really positive feedback on all the things that I've gifted and donated, so I just keep going, you know. There's no need to fix what ain't broke. So I went to Joann's and I realized, so I had a receipt sitting here from a previous purchase from a couple months ago. And then when I went again recently, I looked at my receipt again, and at the bottom was the same coupon. So there's a coupon for 50% off any one regular priced item. And then there's also, so this is all the way at the bottom of my receipt. And then there's also a, and that was in store and online. And then there's also a online promo code. You can get 25% off your total purchase for pickup in store, or you can get free shipping with the minimum $25 purchase. So and it's the same code. It's the same code that was on my receipt earlier. So I think they have this all the time. I don't know. It's happened these 2 times, and that's been like 2 or 3 months apart, and I'm really surprised. So could definitely take advantage of those coupons. Also, if you don't know, if you're shopping online on Joann's website, and of course if you have an account with them, like a rewards account, and they have your email address, then what'll happen is if you put things in your cart and you know, leave it for a few hours or even for a day, they will send you an email with the code for 25% off your total purchase or $2.99 shipping. This happens to me all the time. They always send it to me. So why not? I mean, why not get 25% off, have them pack it up for you, and just pick it up curbside? It really helps me. I feel like I do both. So I do the online ordering, but I now do it for pickup in store, because I realized that when you order something from Joann's to be shipped, it just takes so long because it's coming from all over the country. It's not coming from the local store near you or, you know, a warehouse per se. So now what I do is I go into Joann's, I walk around, I look at the new yarns, I look at the colors, and I literally make a list, make a mental note, or whatever it is, and I write down the colorway, and I look at how many skeins they have, and then I come home and I purchase it online. Because why not? I'm getting 25% off almost every time. So that's kind of my new strategy, and I don't know if that's helpful or not to them. I'm still purchasing from them, but I don't know that purchasing something at that store versus online makes a difference to that store. But I did ask when I went in recently, I asked at the front desk, I asked the cashier whether or not the store would be closing, because as many of you might have heard, Joann's is going through bankruptcy. So she said, no, it won't be closing. And I don't think it will be, because they have so much stock, and I saw boxes in the back. Some of them did have yarn, and they said overstock on them. So either they just have more stock in an inventory in their own store, or perhaps another store has actually closed and they've been sending things here, because my store is stocked. My store has See, look what happened. It just became knotted on its own. My store has literally 5 aisles of yarn now, almost 5 full aisles. I'd say at least 4. The other one has like some other things mixed in, but they have a lot of yarn. And that makes me happy because I really like to go and see it in person. Oh my, this is really knotted now. Sorry. I didn't even do anything. I've just been crocheting and it snagged. I'm okay with a little knot, but I don't really want any knots in my top because it's going to show. I don't know how this happened. I think I've been paying attention and crocheting. I got it. Okay. So yeah, I don't think my store will be closing, and that makes me very happy because my Joann's is about 10 to 15 minutes away from my house, which is perfect. I don't mind going there and you know, perusing the aisles and then coming home and buying something online. I feel like that's going to be my way of shopping there from now on because I want my 25% off. So why buy it in store? Even though I did make one purchase in store recently, and I still do sometimes. If I take my kids or, you know, then they end up buying some random things. If I got a coupon for an in-store only, then I will buy something in store. But otherwise, I'm pretty much buying things online from Joann's. So yeah. I am looking for more top patterns, like not necessarily cardigans, but any nice spring, summer tops. So if you've come across any really good ones on YouTube, I would love to hear about them. So please let me know in the comments. I realize that YouTube works on number of views, but that doesn't necessarily mean that someone enjoyed that video or, you know, made something useful from it. So it's kind of hard to gauge on YouTube what's a good tutorial. Also because we all have really different learning styles. You know, even just the sound of someone's voice could be soothing or could not be soothing. So what else? So I have a lot of finished objects. I think I have, this is like my 5th or 6th bag of finished objects. So I need to go through them now. It's getting kind of crazy. It's a good thing, but I need to go through them. I think some of the baby hats I was making for donations have gone in one of these bags. So I need to take those out. And I probably have more blankets for donation. So I need to take those out as well. The rest of it is just a mix mash of things. So I need to go through that. I need to pull those all out of my closet, and I need to see what's in there and where does it go, and if anything needs to be gifted. I did recently gift 2 of the shawls that I made, and the ladies that I gifted them to, they were so overjoyed, and I was so happy that they liked them, and one of them even wore it like right away. These were shawls I made with Line Brand Sunset Nights, and that yarn actually has sequins in it, so it came out really good. One was a red one was a blue one. If I can find pictures of them, I'll pop them up here. But yeah, it was so nice to give those, and it was so nice for like to see, you know, to receive that gratitude over something that, you know, I spent hours and hours making, but I made it with a lot of love, and it was received really well. So I'm so happy about that. I know we're moving into spring and summer, so I don't know that my crocheting will change. I think I'll still be crocheting a lot, but it's just, you know, you'd be spending more time outdoors instead of indoors. So I probably will have to be a bit more selective with what I'm making, and maybe have smaller projects, or, you know, projects that don't require as much attention, so that I can just pick it up and work on it and put it down again. But I still would like to always be making like at least one mandala, which I really love making them. So I think I always have one WIP that's a mandala. I think right now I actually have 2. One is like a bigger one and one is a smaller one. I say smaller because it's using a thinner yarn. So yeah. I also have another WIP that is a Bernat blanket WIP. And that is in a different room. So, excuse me, only when I go in that room, I work on it. And the last time I went in that room, my son was sitting in my lap. So I didn't get to work on it at all. But I'm hopeful that I can finish it soon, because as it gets hot outside, I doubt I'm going to want to be sitting with that huge blanket on my lap. So I think I need to make a move on that and finish it. I think I had about 6 balls of yarn, and I am on my 4th out of 6. So there's still quite a way to go, but I just need to make it a priority to go in that room and go sit in that room. Again, same thing with that. Like, I don't want to move the project around because, you know, it's big and I already have everything kind of laid out right beside where I would sit. So I'm actually curious to know if anyone uses those rolling carts. You know, at Joann's, they have those like 3-tier carts that are on wheels. I'm curious to know if any of you use that, because I haven't. I always see it on sale there and I'm always tempted to buy it, but I feel like I don't need one more thing in the way. Also, I don't see myself taking that like up and down the stairs, so that would just be in like one room. And I don't know, I guess it would be helpful. Like, I'm a right-handed crocheter, and so my yarn is usually on the left side of me. So maybe I could just lay it in there and let it sit there while I'm working off of it. I don't know. I'm not really sure how people use it. Do you just use it for supplies, or do you use it for actually like putting your WIP? Like, do you work off of there, or do you just keep supplies and things in there? I'm not really sure. So if you have any feedback on that, I'd love to hear it, because that's something that could be useful to me, but I just want to make sure that it is useful before I go out and purchase it. I don't like buying really big things. I feel like they take up space, and I like to have open space. So this room is pretty open, but there's a lot of things in this room, a lot of it being yarn, and my art supplies. I have 3 drawer sets beside me that have all my art things. They have things for painting, drawing, paper cutting, embroidery. What else? Yeah, there's so many things. And then there's like pens and stationery and cards, and just, there's a lot of stuff right here. It's all organized, but there's a lot of stuff in this room. So I just like having more open space, I want to say, than having, you know, clutter, as I would call it. So seems like my yarn is, look what's happening. It's kind of like not bunching up, but it's, I don't know why that happens. I'm pulling it at the same time. I'm not really sure why that happens. Wow. There's a lot of yarn in this cake. This is like, look how much yarn is still there. That's just one of them. I'm working off of 2 of them. There's still a lot of yarn, but it's looking really nice now. If you can see, that's the bottom. So it's red and orange now. And I think very little of it will be only red, but I'm looking forward to getting to the only red part. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I'm going to keep working on this, and I hope you keep working on your WIP and we make some progress together. I'm going to stop today's video here because it's almost 40 minutes. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful crochetful day, and I'll see you again soon.